back. I mean, you can see him get rid of the ball quickly in the pocket. If he has to move, he can scramble and get outside, still throw the ball, or scramble, get outside and run. And I think another reason for this new confidence is the fact that for the first time, he really has a good offensive line. And I think for years he played and didn't have the best of offensive lines, but this is the best group that he's had. And maybe even bigger than that is this guy, Charlie Gardner here. He's played 2 games in the NFL, and in both of those games, he's rushed for over 100 yards. Now, we know about that broken first rib that he has up there. He's wearing a pair of special shoulder pads. He has muscle stimulators up in there. But what they need is they need Charlie Gardner for another 100-yard game.
They say, in fact, he is the biggest threat as a running back they've had since the days of Wilbert Montgomery. Now let's talk about Dallas. Emmitt Smith has been out with a pulled hamstring. What's the situation with him?
Well, he practiced last Wednesday and Thursday of this past week, and he said he felt good for the first time. He said he was able to move. He was able to do all the things he had to, and he says that he's ready to go today. The last time they played a year ago in the first game, he rushed for 237 yards against these Eagles.
The Eagle defensive coordinator, Bud Carson, says he's the best second-half runner that he's ever seen. Bonio to kick it off. And it's going to be Vaughn Hebron at the 5. Cut down at about the 27-yard line where the Eagles will take over. Bill Bates made the stop. Let's look at the Eagle offense led by Randall Cunningham. In his 10th year, that doesn't seem possible. And a good offensive line, as John Madden was talking about a minute ago. They are big, anchored by Dave Alexander. Those who'll handle the ball, Garner, Herschel Walker's the blocker, Fred Barnett, Calvin Williams, the fine pair of wide receivers, and Mark Bavaro, the tight end. Calvin Williams and Barnett both split wide to the right. Cunningham on first down puts Williams in motion and gives to Garner. Garner chased down quickly, and let's look at the #1 ranked defense of the Dallas Cowboys. The front 4, Haley, Lett, Maryland, and Tony Tolbert. 3 very underrated linebackers playing extremely well. Darren Smith, Robert Jones in the middle, and Dixon Edwards. And the secondary led by Darren Woodson of late. And he has really been playing well. 2nd and 8. Garner got 2 on the initial carry. Cunningham back to throw it. Pressured by Haley. He stepped up and dropped it out to Mark Bavaro. He might have an Eagle first down. A very, very good move by Cunningham.
Well, you know one thing, they have a rookie, Bernard Williams, number 74 here. Here's Charles Haley, one of the best pass rushers in football. So we can see on the first pass, they're going to help. They're going to have Mark Bavaro stay in and block him, and then have Williams come on after. So that's a way to take Charles Haley. That's the good news. You got Haley blocked. The bad news is you had to keep your tight end in.
But nevertheless, they got the first down. Williams, the man in motion. Cunningham to throw it. Swings it outside to Herschel Walker. Walker. Enough, it appears, for another Eagle first down, stopped by Kevin Smith.
And we know that they want to do a couple things. Here's Charles Haley again, and watch how they're going to block him on these passes. There you see Williams. He's going to take him to the inside. Then he has Antone Davis, his guard, just waiting there to help him. So what they say is they want to run at Charles Haley, and when they pass, they're going to double him and hope to frustrate him early.
Haley about 255. Those 2 blockers well over 300 apiece. That's a hard battle to win. This is Garner. Gets it to the outside and swings it down into Cowboy territory. A gain of about 4. Dixon Edwards out to make the stop. One thing about those Cowboy linebackers, they are all very quick.
Yeah, and that's one thing about Charlie Garner, too. I mean, he's very quick because he was going to one hole. There was nothing there. He bounced it out to the next hole. There was nothing there. Then finally went out to the 3rd hole. Watch how quick he is, Pat. See him start in that hole. Boom, nothing there into the 2nd hole. And finally bounced it out to the 3rd hole. Did a stiff arm and a spinner, all for 4 yards.
Got away from Woodson. 2nd down. Cunningham Gives to Garner again, and Garner flashes into the Cowboys secondary. Momentarily, it looked as if he might get more. Darren Woodson this time with the sure shot.
Yeah, this guy's really something, is Charlie Gardner. If you just watch how quickly he hits things. I mean, he has, you have to get the ball and then get into the hole quickly, get out of the hole quickly, make moves, and get up the field. And he does all those things at the same time.
All of it at very high speed. 3rd and 3. Garner is out. Walker's I beg your pardon, it's James Joseph, the deep back. Here's Cunningham. To Walker, complete. First down, Eagles. Garner has a special pair of pads that he's wearing to protect that injury that John Madden was talking about a minute ago. And he's also got 2 electronic stimulators inside and underneath.
Yeah, and then they can change the intensity and everything. Here's the thing that controls it. These things go to his body and hook up there, so he has the shoulder pads that take the pressure off of the injured area, and then that muscle stimulator that supposedly keeps the pain away.
Garner's the single back. Cunningham. Pass is caught by Fred Barnett, out of bounds. Mark Bavaro, the Eagle tight end, word from their benches that he has a bruised thigh, but will be back.
Hey, that is a perfect pass by Randall Cunningham and a great catch by Fred Barnett. That's the thing that running can do for you. If you can get that running game going and make them stand in there and stop the run, then that's going to help your pass protection. Then you can do things like get the ball to Fred Barnett on the outside, Calvin Williams on the outside, do those kinds of things. But to me, it all starts with Charlie Garner.
2nd and 10. Cunningham back. Up the middle, complete to Calvin Williams. Williams has become the go-to guy. More and more each week, it seems like.
And I'm impressed with the way Rich Kotite, he's one of the head coaches that calls the plays. The way that he's calling the plays, and what he does is he says there's no down or distance. He said if you get into a down or distance, then you become predictable. And he said then you get into a rhythm, then the defense gets in the same rhythm with you. So he wants to stay out of a rhythm to keep the defense out of a rhythm.
Bavaro is back at tight end. It's Walker and Garner behind Cunningham. Fake to Garner. Pass in the air. Flag on the play. Robert Jones hit the intended receiver, Calvin Williams.
That's number 89, Calvin Williams.
The referee today is Ron Blum. He, of course, wears the white hat. Ron Blum.
Pass interference, 55 defense, holding, 74 offense. Penalties, offset, second down, repeat first down.
Offsetting penalties, so they'll repeat the first down after they pick up all the flags. Barry Switzer, Joe Avizano, the special team coach.
I wonder what they're talking about. They can't be talking about the defense.
And not special teams.
No. They wonder why in the heck they haven't been able to stop the Eagles yet.
It's still first down, and Cunningham has the time, and the ball took off. Haley lined up on the left side, which he's going to do from time to time, he told us yesterday.
Well, I think that, over the years, Haley has had pretty good success against Broderick Thompson. Remember, Broderick Thompson last year played left tackle for the Eagles, and Haley had a pretty good time against him, as did Jim Jeffcoat. So Butch Davis is going to try and get Haley over there some on Thompson, and also get Jim Jeffcoat in there on him and some passing down.
Walker and James Joseph now goes in motion. Walker swings outside to the left. The pass goes to him, and out there quickly to make the stop is Darren Smith. Let's go back and look at that catch by Fred Barnett a minute earlier. Watch his right foot, though. It's standing. It's right on the line.
Well, yeah, they said that he was bobbling the ball, I guess, Pat, and they didn't give him that catch, and they didn't give him a first down, and that was why it wasn't. But if you look here, he has the ball, and that second foot is down. They took one away from Fred Barnett and should have had.
They said he didn't have possession when he went out of bounds. I wonder. Here's Cunningham back to throw. The protection breaks down. Cunningham on the ground. Dallas has recovered his fumble. Chad Hennings collapsed the middle. Jeffcoat there with him.
Now they got Charles Haley blocked. They had him doubled. James Joseph was helping in on there, but they didn't get the other guys blocked. You see, they got Chad Hennings is getting the push. That's one thing he gives the Cowboys now is a push up the middle. That makes Randall Cunningham bring the ball down. And we just said that Jim Jeffcoat has had success against Broderick Thompson, and he gets a ride away from Thompson, and he's a guy that hits Cunningham and knocks the ball out of there.
And Hennings, I think, wound up with it. Either he or Jeffcoat. First down, Cowboys at their own 25. Eggman to Emmitt Smith. To about the 30. Let's look at the Cowboy offensive unit now, led by Troy Aikman. In his 6th year, it would be hard to say it's his best year, but it's good. In front of him, one of the best offensive lines in football. And those who handled the ball, Emmitt Smith and Darrell Johnson, the wide receivers, Irvin and Harper, Jay Novacek, the tight end. 2nd and 6. Aikman gets to Smith again. A couple of yards, maybe. Fuller made the stop on Smith. William Perry in the middle. That's the front four of the Eagles. Fuller, Andy Harmon, William Perry, and Greg Townsend. The linebackers, Byron Evans in the middle, Romanowski from the 49ers, and William Thomas. Eric Allen, Greg Jackson, Michael Zordich, and Mark McMillan. Third down and about 3.5 or 4. And Aikman back to throw it for the first time. Away from one blitzer, but not enough for the first. Tripped up by Andy Harmon.
You know, and that's what you call a coverage set, Pat. Aikman was back. He looked to the right, couldn't find anything there. Looked for the middle, couldn't find anything there. Had to bring the ball down, and finally Andy Harmon got him.
Bad thumb and all.
Yeah, broken thumb, cast on his thumb. They didn't know if he'd be able to play at all. Bud Carson said he's going to start him and see if he can do anything in there, and if he can, he's going to leave him in there. But that was great coverage.
John Jett back to punt it. To Jeff Seidner. Good kick by Jett. This one really took off. Back to the 17. Coverage breaks down just a bit. And Seidner off to the races, being chased. He could go, cut down from behind by Darren Smith. Just tripped him. Good return nevertheless.
You know, sometimes you can out-punt your coverage. You can see when Seidner catches a ball there, the closest Cowboy is 10 yards away from him. So now he has 10 yards to get that ball up, make those moves, pick up those blocks, find that alley, and then Darren Smith makes a heck of a job catching him from behind.
40-yard return by Jeff Seidner. First and 10 Eagles at their own, at the Dallas 41. Two tight end setup. That's Garner to the 34. For McDonald's update, let's send you now to James Brown in Hollywood.
All right, Pat, in Washington, Arizona has tied it up on a controversial play. Steve Berline finds Ricky Proehl, corner of the end zone. He has it. Alan Grant stole it. It was initially ruled an interception on the part of Grant, overruled that touchdown and the point after. Tied it up. 14 seconds left, and we're tied. Back to Pat.
2nd and 3, Philadelphia from the Dallas 34. That's Garner again. Cut down by Dixon Edwards. Close to a first down, maybe not quite.
That was one thing the Eagles wanted to do. We talked about that. They are not going to let Charles Haley take over this game. So on passes, they're going to double him. On runs, they're going to run right at him. You see, here's Haley right there. And you watch, here's Gardner. He takes the ball. Haley takes the inside. They double team him and run right off that double team. They want him to anchor in there and play the run and not just think of going after Randall Cunningham.
A foot short. We'll make it third. 5:51 left in the first quarter. Nothing score. Kind of game we expected. They're tied for first place in the NFC East.
Rich Kotite gives that play to Zeke Bratkowski, who then calls it in to Randall Cunningham. Like Zeke can find that play on his piece of paper. I wonder if Rich called one that wasn't on the paper.
Walker and Joseph. Short yardage. About a foot. O'Neal was the man in motion. Cunningham fakes, gets to Walker, wide open. Herschel Walker inside the 5. Touchdown. The Eagles. Herschel Walker.
I don't know where Rich Kotite came up with that play, whether it was on the card or not, but I'll tell you it was a great call.
From 32 yards out.
What a play back. Everyone went for the play fake. That's what you're going to do. The thing is you fake the ball to Joseph in here. See the good play fake by Joseph, good play fake by Randall Cunningham. Bring the ball out. Herschel Walker was wide open. He hit him, and then Herschel Walker just took it into the end zone. I don't know if that ball was in that right hand, if that broke the plane or not. That's what the fans are booing about.
That was close. They just replayed it back on the giant screens on top of the stadium, so the crowd had a chance to look at it. Eddie Murray.
And that's what Herschel's going to keep.
Yep. Bryant Barker is the holder. Murray changed this week. Holders, that is, not teams. Murray's good, as he usually is. 7-0, the Eagles.
You know, watch this, Pat. I think Herschel Walker stepped out of bounds before he got to the end zone. Watch that right foot right there. He was out of bounds before he got there, so whatever happened to the ball doesn't make any difference.
7-0, the Eagles. Eddie Murray set to kick off. Knuckleball heads for Brock Marion. Marion gets out to about the 27, where the Cowboys will take over. Herschel Walker's touchdown gives the Eagles a lead, 7-0. John Madden, 7-0. The Eagles lead the Dallas Cowboys. First time the Cowboys have trailed in the last 9 quarters. They have it 1st and 10 at their own 27. 5:21 left to play in the first quarter. Barry Switzer has had a successful debut. His team with a record of 4-1, tied with the Eagles. Aikman gives to Darrell Johnston. Stopped by Greg Townsend.
You know, we were talking to Bud Carson last night, the Eagle defensive coordinator. He was talking about how important it is. He said what you'd like to do is stop Emmitt Smith and double both outside receivers, but you can't. So you just mix it up and try and keep them off balance. He said, but the thing about Emmitt Smith is he doesn't go away. That, as you said earlier, he's the best second half runner he has ever played against.
On second down, Aikman back to throw it. Intended for Irvin. That ball got away from Aikman. Eric Allen, the defender.
I think that Emmitt Smith, whenever you give him the ball, is pretty good. But if you look at last season, in the first half, he averaged 4.7 yards per carry, and in the second half, 6.2. So part of that is Emmitt Smith, and part of that is that big Dallas Cowboy offensive line just wearing the defense down.
And they are big. 3 wide receivers this time. Emmitt Smith remains the lone back. Aikman Incomplete. There's Kevin Williams covered by Eric Allen. And the Cowboys again will have to send their punting unit on the field. John Jett got off a rocket that first time.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, they didn't know, the Eagles didn't know if Andy Harmon, their improved defensive tackle, would be able to play, but he was the guy on that play that put pressure on Aikman again. He knocked Troy Aikman down just as he threw it.
51 yards by Jett the first time. Partially blocked. And the Eagles will take over. The ball bounded out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. Ken Rose is the man who got the hand up to knock it back.
That's Ken Rose, is number 55. He's coming straight up the middle. And he had the left hand out, the right hand out, and it was the right hand that got it. That's what Ken Rose is. He's a special teams guy. In fact, he's the special teams captain of this Philadelphia Eagle team. Watch it, he's going to come straight up the middle, and right there he just gets his hand on it, knocks the ball out to the left side, and the Eagles have a first down here. The Eagles have won every area of this game so far.
So far, they really have. They lead 7-0 on the scoreboard. 4.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Eagles lead already 7-0. They just got a partial punt block by Ken Rose, and so they have it 1st and 10 at the Dallas 39. Trying to get more. Garner and Walker behind Cunningham. Calvin Williams, the man in motion. Garner. Boy, he gets into the secondary in a hurry. And if Woodson doesn't make that tackle, he's in the end zone in a hurry.
Good block by Antone Davis. He's going to start right here, and he's going to take Leon Lett out to this side, and the ball is going to come straight up the middle. But it doesn't take a big block. But watch Davis get into Lett. He's going to get into him there, and then the ball right there. Boom, they get a little double team right there to start off with. And Charlie Garner, all it takes is a little. Just hold him up a while, and Charlie Garner's through that hole.
He just sort of gets lost back in behind those offensive linemen. Here's Garner again. This time no gain.
They didn't get Leon Lett that time.
Yeah.
Leon Lett, number 78, Russell Gurley.
Yeah, they were talking that last week the special teams were so bad, and Rich Kotite said that we have to be a lot better if we're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys, and so far they started off with a 40-yard punt return and a punt block. So in the first quarter, these Eagles special teams have gotten a lot better.
2nd and 11. Williams again, the man in motion. Cunningham back to throw, and here comes the blitz. Darren Smith unblocked, but there's a flag on the play.
He almost took all of Cunningham's parts off. I think it's going to be a holding penalty. But Darren Smith, you talk about speed and quickness. You talk about a guy coming quickly off a corner. He looks like he's shot out of a cannon. I mean, he comes there. Randall Cunningham doesn't see him, doesn't feel him, doesn't hear him, doesn't anything.
And why he doesn't fumble is a miracle.
Yeah, that's one thing that they better figure out, is they better figure out that the Cowboys that don't blitz a lot, but once in a while they'll bring them, and when they do bring them, or they bring them quickly. The guy that was holding was the right guard, Lester Holmes, number 73.
3rd down, about 17. Joseph, the deep back. Here's Cunningham. Incomplete and no flag. And right now, let's take you back to Hollywood, to James Brown.
Pat, in overtime in Washington, the Redskins going for the win. A 51-yard field goal attempt by Low Miller is blocked by Eric Swan. The Cardinals have it. They're inside the Washington 30, driving for the win themselves. That again in overtime. Back to Dallas. Pat and John.
Eddie Murray will try a 50-yarder for the Eagles. Barker's the holder.
The Fridge didn't get in there. Get the Fridge in. He's reporting up. They had to call timeout. The Eagles didn't have enough guys in there, and the guy that wasn't in there was the Fridge. So they were doing well on special teams, and they just forgot to get a guy in there.
The appliance didn't make it. 7-0. About trying a 50-yard field goal, and now the punter, Brian Barker, new this week, is standing back at about the Cowboy 48. He'll try to hang it high. Does off the side of his foot. The ball bounds into the end zone. The Cowboys will take it over at the 20. In today's politically correct world, George Carlin is one guy who's not afraid to tell it like it is. Catch the season premiere of the George Carlin Show tonight at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, right after Married with Children.
Yeah, I think you only get so many opportunities to go after scores when you play a great team like the Cowboys. And the Cowboys are a great team. And I think you have to take shots when you have those opportunities. And I'm kind of surprised that the Eagles on that field position didn't take some kind of shot.
Aikman, low, intended for Darrell Johnston. Aikman looks as if the coverages that the Eagles are showing him are not what he expected.
Well, it's the whole coverage thing, and you can see what they do is they roll up and then they bump and then they run and then they get their linebackers out, and what they try and do is show them one thing, like they're going to bump and ride with them and then come off and use combination type coverages.
A blown play by the Cowboys. Emmett went one way. Aikman went the other way. And all the tires blew out.
I have never seen the Cowboy offense start off like this. They look like they haven't practiced this week. I mean, here you just start off and it's the I formation, and Aikman came out to the left, and it looks like he's the guy that made the mistake because everyone else went like they were going to the right, so he had to keep it. He's lucky that he got his left foot out of the ground on that play. I've never seen the Cowboys start off looking like this on offense.
Like confused. 3rd and 11. Here comes a blitz. Aikman pumps and goes. Got a man. Pass is picked off by Greg Jackson. Intended for Michael Irvin.
You know what he tried to do? You're going to see he's going to try and pump, and he wants this guy to move. Now there's Jackson, and he doesn't go for it. Now watch Jackson all the way. You see, when you get the pump there, he took one little step, and then he comes back here to the right. Now, Michael Irvin was past Eric Allen, and Greg Jackson made, first of all, some read, and then some move, and then some catch.
To get back there like he did, and then to make this interception like he did.
He just out-jumped Michael Irvin for that one.
First down, Eagles at their own 42. They lead 7-0. Barnett was the man in motion. This is Garner. He flashes quickly into Cowboy territory.
Yeah, the Eagles in this first quarter are just beating the Cowboys to the punch. They're beating them to the punch on offense, defense, special teams. That one was a confusion one. See, they're trying to target. They thought that the pump would take Greg Jackson. And Greg Jackson just took a half a step for the pump. Then they were going to lay it over to Irvin. They got by Allen, but Greg Jackson made a heck of a recovery.
2nd and short, 2 tight ends. Bavaro and Johnson. That's Garner. First down. Well, they keep saying week after week after week that he can't carry the ball 25 and 30 times a game, but he keeps doing that.
Yeah, and you know, you can see it starting to hurt him now too, because it's not only the stress fracture of that first rib, but it's the pounding that he takes every time. You see just the jolt when he gets hit by Jones. I mean, just that whole upper body just jolts.
And don't forget, he didn't practice at all in training camp, so just the 2 games that he's been in are the few times that he's been hit. First down. Cunningham behind his intended receiver, Fred Barnett. Larry Brown on the coverage.
You know, Otho Davis, the Eagle trainer, was saying last night that you you kind of need trauma practice, and that's what Charlie Gardner hadn't had. You know, that hitting where you get that jolt. There's Otho Davis right there in the middle, where you get that jolt, and there is a trauma to your body. And he said he hasn't been practicing any trauma, so anytime that he gets hit, whether it's an injury or not, it's trauma to his body. He only weighs 180 pounds.
Trauma practice is not much fun. Haley jumped. Walker was the man in motion.
Haley tried to go do the around the world there.
94 defense, unabated to the quarterback. Offside, 5 yards, repeat second down.
Here's around the world, Pat. You just start up. Now you know you're offside. You don't even go in and hit the quarterback. You just keep running in circles. And that just kind of loosens you up. You stay loose, you're relaxed and everything, just run around in a circle. But that's a real pro. I mean, you know, some amateurs would come in and drill the quarterback on that. When he knew he was offside, just did a circle and back. Okay, let's play the next one.
2nd and 5. Joseph and Walker, the two backs. Navarro moved the tight end. The pass complete to Joseph, who's hit by Robert Jones, but this is going to be against the Eagles.
That's right. The Cowboys had one on Charles Haley, and this one will be against number 84.
False start prior to the snap. 84 offense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
Rich Kotite. We meet with a lot of coaches, but no one brings more enthusiasm to the meeting than he does.
Yeah, and you know, he always knows exactly what he wants to do, what he thinks he can do. It doesn't always go that way, but whatever his ideas are, he's enthusiastic about them on Saturday night.
That's James Joseph. Picks his way for about 3 yards, stopped by Robert Jones again.
James Joseph is a good change-up to a guy like Charlie Gardner. I mean, you see how much quicker Charlie Gardner. I mean, Charlie Gardner on a play like that would have been in, out, through, and up for a first down by the time it took Joseph to get to the line.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score: Philadelphia 7, Dallas nothing. Eagles 7, the Cowboys nothing as we begin the second quarter.
Yeah, you look here at the first quarter stats, Pat. The Eagles have really beaten the Cowboys everywhere you can. Look at pass yards 59 -3, total yards 106 to 6 for the Cowboys. With a 7th first down, the Cowboys have none. Turnovers 1 each. Look at time of possession, 11 minutes. But the thing is, the Eagles have had those opportunities, but they've only scored 7 points.
You'd think it should be more than 7-0 with all that. 3rd down. Cunningham fires it up and out of bounds. Incomplete, no flag. Under heavy pressure. Intended for Victor Bailey.
It seems like every time you see heavy pressure, you're going to see number 77, Jim Jeffcoat there. Coming from the top of the screen, you get the blitz from the bottom of the screen. Jim Jeffcoat hitting them from the top. The Cowboys don't blitz a lot. They just pick their spots, but when they do, they're very, very effective.
That time it was Kenny Gant, the special teams expert, that blitzed. Evan Williams let the punt sail over his head, and it flies into the end zone, so the Cowboys will take over at the 20. But the Eagles have dominated and lead 7-0. At Texas Stadium, where the Eagles lead the Cowboys 7-0 as we begin the second quarter. Those of you who just watched that game, Arizona beating Washington 19-16. Todd Peterson's field goal gave Arizona the victory. This is Emmitt Smith, and a flag on the play. Greg Jackson up to make the stop.
You know, who would have thought we'd be in the second quarter? The Dallas Cowboys wouldn't have scored any points. Emmitt Smith wouldn't have gained many yards, and Troy Aikman wouldn't have completed a pass yet.
And they have no first downs yet.
Well, because, you know, last week against the Cardinals, they looked so sharp. Although we saw the Eagles 2 weeks ago.
48 offense,
And they
10
look-
yards, repeat first down.
Darrell Johnston was called for the holding. And they back him up 10 yards to the 10. Barry Switzer starting to get a little excited about things. 7-0.
We saw the Eagles 2 weeks ago against the 49ers, and they looked a lot like they did in this game, except they scored when they had opportunity.
They got out in front a long way. Here's Aikman to Harper. There's the first down. And now let's take you back to Hollywood Studios and James Brown.
All right, Pat, a little visual support for what you've already said. Todd Peterson boots home the game-winning field goal. He was signed just 5 days ago to replace the injured Greg Davis. Buddy Ryan's team improves to 2-4. Washington drops to 1-6. Back to Pat.
All right, James, thank you. To correct what I said, that was not enough for the first down. They gained 15 yards, so it's still second down. Pass is caught by Harper again. And that is the first down for Dallas.
It's the same play. Harper was on the right side, ran a slant. Now they put him over on the left side, and he runs the slant. Up 3 steps, boom, right to the inside. Aikman has perfect timing, perfect rhythm, and just hits Harper just as he makes his break.
A big pair of wide receivers in Irvin and Harper. Irvin goes left, Harper right. Harper 6'3". He's against McMillan this time, who's 5'7". But it's Emmitt Smith underneath the stack, stopped by Byron Evans, but Emmitt Smith got 5 yards.
And that's when Emmitt Smith is so tough, that he's so strong and powerful. And as you say, he's underneath stuff. And defensive backs and linebackers will always complain that with this big offensive line of the Cowboys and Emmitt Smith getting down there low, you can't see him. I mean, it's hard enough when you see him and you try and tackle him, but half the time you can't see him behind those big guys.
Emmitt Smith again. A yard shy of a first down. Perry and Harmon stop Emmitt Smith.
We were talking to Emmitt Smith yesterday about the fridge there. William Perry, who just made that tackle. And he said, I don't know. He said it takes a long time to run around him.
And he said he just swats you.
He said, yeah.
And you go down.
Yeah, if you get close to him, it doesn't take a big hit. He said just a swat will knock you down. One thing about him, you can't run at him or cut back into him.
No, it's a mistake to cut back into him. Emmitt Smith. Close to a first down, but not quite. I don't think. They'll probably measure.
That was William Thomas who made the tackle, but Stepnoski did get a little push here. Watch Stepnoski now. We said you can't cut back, but he gets a little push on Perry because Emmitt Smith does cut back there. You see the little push there? And right there, that's the thing that gave Emmitt Smith that first down. Stepnoski is very good at leverage.
Gets up underneath the pads and then takes away all their power. Novacek was the move man, and Aikman got a man open, but Eric Allen's back there. Incomplete. Alvin Harper with the leap, and Harper stretched out.
Yeah, he tried that same thing, Troy did. He tried that deal where you're going to pump in the middle and try and hold that inside guy and then get the outside guy deep, and it just didn't happen. Watch Harper. He's the outside guy. Now, he's going to run and up. You see a little out and up. And now what you're trying to do, you're trying to get Eric Allen, number 21, with the pump. He didn't get him with the pump, although he almost caught that ball. I mean, one thing when you can jump as high as Alvin Harper does, then you have to get ready to come down out of that jump.
It's a long way down, and that hurt. And he's still down.
And it looked like he started to get his right hand out of there for the fall. And when he did, he dropped the ball. Because there was a point there that he had caught that ball.
Still 7-0. 11-10 left before the half at Texas Stadium. The Eagles lead. Harper was stretched out. Now he's over at the Cowboy bench. And the early word that we got is he got a cut on his face.
Yeah, well, he dropped the ball and landed face first.
That's Irvin in motion. Gateman back to throw it. Out to Emmitt Smith. One hand, picks it up. Don't think that was a lateral.
Yeah, if you watch that play again, Pat, you'll see Alvin Harper, when he goes up for the ball, I mean, he leaps. Then when he brings it back in, the ball hits his helmet, knocks his chin strap off. Then he drops the ball and goes down, and the first thing that hits is his face. He tries to get the hand down, and look, he just goes face first right into that turf.
And as high as he went up in the air, that's a long way down.
So that's how he got the gas. He knocked his chin strap off by bringing the ball into him.
Third down. Aikman has the contention, throws for Novacek, incomplete.
I always say that Mark McMillan, he's only 5'7" or 5'8" or whatever, and he can't, play against a big guy. There it is. He can't, or he wouldn't be in this league. I mean, these are the kind of plays Mark McMillan can make. Jay Novacek is 6'4". Mark McMillan is 5'7" or 8" or whatever. But if he couldn't jump like this and get position like that and do those kind of things, he wouldn't be in the league. You see right there, when you jump, it all evens out.
Well, like you said, for a long time, he may be 5'7", and he is, but he's been short all of his life.
Yeah, and he's played all his life. In this league, in Alabama, anywhere he's been.
The punt is downed by Matt Vanderbeek at about the 5, just outside the 5. Good kick by Chet. Championship disclaimer.
I'll tell you, if anyone's going to get him, that's Fred Dreyer. He's going to get him.
Who was that thug? Did you know him?
I don't know that thug, but he had to be some guy who was doing something bad. But if guys are doing that, stuff they're not supposed to do, Fred Dreyer will get him. He even puts his hand on their head before he puts them in the car.
I'm glad to see he's still working. Garner, the ball carrier, stopped by Leon Lett.
That's tough. You get a guy like Charlie Garner, and the two tough areas, you can see that where he's hooked up to that muscle stimulator. I mean, he got stuff in his pads, on his neck, on his shoulder, on his vertebrae, on everything. But the toughest running is coming off the goal line and going into the goal line.
2nd and 8. Garner got 2. Bam. Garner hit by Leon Lett. The big cat.
You need the big cat in there. You need the big defensive lineman in there to get penetration. And if you have that, there's not going to be any more running. I think they controlled Maryland. They controlled Lett early. But now it looks like this defense is starting to rise to the occasion.
3rd and 12.
Yeah, Leon Lett is called the big cat. Went down, they played a game in Mexico, and now he's called El Gato Grande.
He has that written on the back of his shoes.
El Gato Grande.
7-0, the Eagles lead with 9:47 left in the first half. They were going to double him and forgot Leon Lett. Cunningham standing 5 yards deep in the end zone. A quick kick by Cunningham. We've seen that before. Takes an Eagle bounce. Still going. Still going. Flag on the play. Back in the end zone.
Now that is a great play. There can be roughing the punter, but that is a great play. 3rd down, quick kick. The element of surprise, the kick, the roll.
81 yards. We saw him at Giant Stadium. Remember that once?
Because the ball was quick kick, there is no foul on the play.
No foul. Because it was a quick kick. But 81 yards, that'll get you out of a hole.
See, Cunningham starts like he's in the shotgun, just takes the ball, and he just punts it. And they say because it was a quick kick that you can't rough him. I don't know why. I mean, it would seem like if it's a punter, after he punts the ball, you can't hit him. That was Leon Lett that hit him. Lett wasn't sure exactly what he did, maybe.
That was December the 3rd in 1989 that he kicked that ball at Giant Stadium that rolled forever.
You know, and you got to remember, Jimmy Johnson used to call plays momentum changers. Coaches have called them, you know, field position changing. And that was one of those plays right there by Randall Cunningham.
Instead of the Cowboys having the Eagles squeeze down to their end of the field, now they've got 85 yards to go. The handoff is to Emmitt Smith. Outside to the 20.
Emmitt Smith gets 5 yards to the 20. Brought down by Ben Hager from Western.
The Aflac NFL Trivia. How many Cowboys have played for all three head coaches? Landry, Johnson, and Switzer. 2nd and 5 at the 20. Again, it's Emmitt Smith. And Smith gets the first down. Again, the question is how many Cowboys, current Cowboys, have played for all three of their head coaches? There have been 5. Tuinei, Newton, Bates, Jeff Coat, and Michael Irvin.
You know, the one you always miss is Michael Irvin because you tend to always associate him with Jimmy Johnson and think that he came the same time Jimmy Johnson came. But he came when Tom Landry was still the coach here.
2 tight end offense for Dallas. Emmitt Smith, the ball carrier. And there's not much there. Emmitt out to about the 29. Stopped by Byron Evans, and a scuffle breaks out. That might be more than a scuffle. Did you see that one official with his head down, burrowing? That's Art Demas.
Yeah, and he's wearing a flak jacket, I think. He had an injury a year ago.
Yeah.
Watch him. See underneath there? He does have a flak jacket. He's darn near dressed in a whole bodysuit. Watch, he's the umpire. Art Demas is the umpire. It'll be right behind the defensive line of scrimmage. So he'll be the guy that's coming right there. See him come in there? He stuck his head in there, old Art.
Well, Art played at Vanderbilt. Here's Aikman. He has to put his head down and go straight ahead. William Fuller and Greg Townsend put the heat on Aikman.
You know, the guy that's really playing well, too, in there is Andy Harmon. I mean, they weren't sure. He has a broken thumb. He has a cast on his hand. And if there's anything that's tough in this game, it's to play without having both your hands where you can grab. And he really can't grab with that right hand, but he's making a lot of plays. He's getting pressure inside. He's clogging up that inside run. And with a broken thumb, he's really playing well.
That's Novacek in motion this time, and here's Aikman. Gets it to Novacek. Rolls forward far enough to get a first, but there's a flag on the play. Harper is back in for the Cowboys, by the way.
I think Troy Aikman is just trying to get something going here. You know, and when you have to get something going, I think you either run it to Emmitt, or in Troy Aikman's case, you look for Jay Novacek, because he has yet to get the ball to Michael Irvin. And I think eventually they have to work and get something going here and then do that.
53 defense. Penalties declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Romanowski. The Eagles really like the way he plays.
Yeah, what he was doing is they're jamming underneath. They want to jam those short guys and jump on them, and that was what Romanowski was doing. And with the new rules now, if you're beyond 5 yards, then you can't jam them.
6:35 left to play by the time this play gets started. That's in the first half. Darrell Johnston in motion. Aikman to Irvin. Michael Irvin. If he had gotten away from Mark McMillan, which of course he didn't, a good tackle, there was nobody else.
If Michael Irvin hadn't caught a pass, here he is. He's going to run right in here and be hit right in this hole. Now that's the thing that Michael Irvin can do. He can go up, and then he can turn in and see that hole. Just come under control. Aikman hits him perfectly. But I'll tell you, here's where it starts right here. These guys in their protection and knocking the pass rush out and creating that lane that Aikman could throw the ball in. Because if he didn't throw it right when he did, you could see what was going to happen to him.
Byron Evans is right in his face. This is Emmitt Smith again. And Emmitt inside the Eagle 40, about the 38. Greg Townsend made the stop. This by far the best looking possession the Cowboys have had.
Well, they're starting to do some things. I mean, they're running the ball to Emmett. They hit Novacek on a little something. They got the first pass to Michael Irvin, and now it's starting to look like the Cowboy offense. Here's Ernie Zampese there. He's the offensive coordinator and the guy who calls these plays.
Second
call good ones now.
Second and 4. Yes, he is. Fumble. Aikman just had to drop on it.
Barry Switzer, I don't know that, they had that game against Detroit where they didn't look too good, but I don't know that he's been through too many of these things, either at the University of Oklahoma when he was coaching there, or here where you have the best team, but you're just not functioning.
Seemed like he was always far ahead, way ahead when he was at Oklahoma.
Well, here he's getting beaten to the punch today.
So far. Emmitt Smith deep. They got to throw it. Here comes the Eagles making the blitz. The pass caught by Kevin Williams. Aikman on the money.
Yeah, and he had to catch that one right on the money. He's here on the left. He has to come under control. You see number 38, Miano, was doubling him on the inside. So what Kevin Williams had to do is come under control between Allen and Miano.
Kevin Williams, injured last year, has come back to be a dependable third wide receiver for Dallas.
How about that kick return he had last week? That was exciting.
Here's Emmitt Smith. And the Eagle defense has been tough against the run. And Emmitt Smith, he's gained some yards, but they've been hard yards.
Well, you wonder how Nate Newton can get around there and not find someone. Either Nate should have found someone to hit, or Emmett should have followed Nate. Here's Nate. Now watch old big Nate. He comes here and doesn't get anything. So either Emmitt Smith ought to get in behind him, or Nate ought to pick one of those green jerseys before he got out that far to the right.
And Emmett being helped to the sideline. 2nd and 8. I don't think it's the hamstring. He just took a pretty good shot.
I'll tell you, he cut back into about 4 green jerseys there.
There were a lot of them he found that Nate couldn't find.
How Nate could take a whip out there, I don't know.
On 2nd down, Aikman rolls right. Got his man Scott Galbraith down to the 10 to about the 9.
That's the old bootleg play where you get the backs going one way, you fake, the quarterback goes the other way, Scott Galbraith, the tight end, comes across. See, what you do is you get the fake going this way, then the quarterback comes here and he bootlegs, then you get the tight end coming across. And you try and get the defense going one way. See, you get the defense going that way, bring the quarterback out to this side, bring the tight end over in the other side, and then you have a perfect play.
On 1st down, it's Lincoln Coleman. Coleman to the 4. To the 4. He can't wait to get up. He's mad because he didn't score.
Yeah, but he better calm down. You don't want to get one of those delay of game penalties for throwing the ball or for getting too excited down there. Remember that happened against the Giants. They started celebrating on the 4-yard line.
Good lead block by Darrell Johnston is what sprung it. They can make a 1st down without scoring after they spotted the ball on the previous play. It was just outside the 10. Coleman deep. Lincoln Coleman won't get in. Didn't get much. The dance started too soon. And we'll get the 2-minute warning with the Eagles leading the Dallas Cowboys 7-0. 2 minutes left in the 1st half.
Is back in the game now, but if you watch what happened to him, Pat, they said he got hit in the head. Watch number 56, Byron Evans is going to come right there. You saw the helmet-to-helmet contact. That's why Emmitt Smith went out. He was out for a few plays. Now he's back in.
At the 5, 3rd down. And Emmitt Smith is the lone setback. The Eagles fake the blitz. Flag on the play. Aikman through the end zone for Darrell Johnston, incomplete. But I think the Eagles were offside.
Tell you one thing, these guys are going after each other.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there is some real hitting going on out there, and today isn't hitting weather. It's awfully muggy down there.
Rain most of the night. And it feels like it might rain at any minute.
There's a lot of quickness in this game and a lot of, crisp, hard hitting.
Those uniforms get wet, sort of stick to you. Everything does.
The bigger you are, the more you have to stick to and the more you sweat.
There's some big folks down there.
Offside, 56 defense.
Byron Evans.
Half the distance, repeat third down.
Still third down. You heard him.
Troy Aikman got Byron Evans on that one, Pat, on that hard count. Evans was up there like he was going to blitz. You'll see it's right up there. You'll see Evans come up right there, and then he breaks the plane of the football, which is a neutral zone. He was trying to time that count. I think Aikman held the count a little and got Byron Evans into that neutral zone.
Stepnoski held the ball long enough. Of course, he knows what Aikman's count is. Evans doesn't. Third down.
Sometimes those centers have been known to snap it a little early, though, too.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you get a little edgy.
Yeah, and you just snap the ball and get yours, and then your guards and tackles aren't very fond of you.
3rd and 2. Smith is the lone setback. Handoff is to Emmett Smith, and I don't know. Touchdown, yes. He got in.
Good push by the middle of the line and good 3-yard dive by Emmett Smith.
That drive started all the way back at the Cowboy 15-yard line after the quick kick by Randall Cunningham.
And the Cowboys looked like the Cowboys the first time on that drive.
Aikman looked much less confused. Here is Novacek holding for Boniol's extra point, which is good. With that touchdown, Smith has now scored a touchdown in 8 straight games, setting a new Dallas Cowboy record. And we have a 7-7 tie, and what a game.
Touchdown right there. There's a double team, Kennard, Stepnoski. But watch Darrell Johnston on that lead block there with Byron Evans. Now that is blocking. I mean, you're going to get the double team there and knock Harmon out. Watch that lead block. Stay with him, stay with him, stay with him. Del Emmett got it in the end zone. That is some blocking.
Boniol's kickoff goes to Vaughn Hebride. He's got a little alley, but the door shut at the other end of the alley. If you're looking for action and adventure, turn to Fox this Friday night and meet a new breed of superhero, Mantis, followed by the show USA Today calls excellent, thrilling, and terrifying, The X-Files. It's a night of all new episodes this Friday on Fox.
Yeah, I was saying that the Cowboys look more like the Cowboys on that drive, and they got the time of possession back, too. In the first quarter, the Eagles had it like 11 minutes something, and now in the second quarter, the Cowboys had it like 11 minutes or something.
Hennings and Lett are the defensive tackles now. Cunningham. Leon Lett in his face, and Cunningham is wild high. Calvin Williams, the intended receiver.
Yeah, we were talking about this. Look at the yards. The Eagles started off the first quarter 105 yards. Now they only have 104. I mean, while they were winning that first quarter, I had a feeling at that time that they didn't put up enough points. And usually those things come back to haunt you.
You said so. 2nd and 10. Cunningham again is hit, intercepted. I think that is Kenneth Gant. It could be Kevin Smith. It's Gant. Cunningham was pressured, and I don't think he ever saw Kenneth Gant.
Yeah, that's what the Cowboys do best. They stop you on first down. They get you in that 2nd and 3rd, those long yardage situations. And I don't think there's anyone in football that plays a nickel defense better than the Cowboys. When they have those extra defensive backs in there, Kenny Ganton being one of those guys where he knows he has help deep, so then if he has help deep, he can cover Herschel Walker and run underneath him, which he did. Then
Pretty
celebrate like a shark.
First down, Dallas at the Eagle 35. Aikman back to throw it. Goes quickly to Harper. Incomplete. A flag on the play. McMillan.
I don't know that you can call that pass interference. I think you have to give defensive backs the right to go for the ball, too. I'm sure they're going to call it against McMillan, but you'll see right here, Harper's going to come in and he's going to run a slant.
29 defense. First down.
McMillan's going in, just going for the ball. To me, you can't take that away from defensive backs. You have to let them do that. I mean, if they can't do that, they can't play. I mean, they have, when the ball's in the air, they have as much right to it as the offensive guy.
Before the ball got there, but as you say, you got to have a chance to catch the ball, both of you. The reverse to Kevin Williams. Fake to Emmitt Smith down to about the 15.
Heck of a play by Bill Romanowski. He has Nate Newton pulling out on him, and he made Nate Newton miss him. Watch him on the reverse. You're going to see Nate Newton come from here, and here's Romanowski. He has to make Newton miss and make the tackle. Watch, here comes big 61 Nate. There's Romanowski waiting for the collision, dodges a collision, makes a tackle.
Dockers halftime. James and Terry will have all the scores and highlights from around the league on this 7th week of the '94 NFL season. All coming up on the Dockers halftime. 2nd and 7 at Texas Stadium. Aikman fakes. There's a man wide open. It's Alvin Harper. The pump fake got him.
That was the 3rd or 4th time Troy Aikman pumped. That was a big part of their game plan for the Eagles, and they stayed with it because it didn't work the other time. That time he went for the pump, and 2 of the Eagles went for it. He gets 2 of them on this pump, Pat. You start motion to the right, he's going to throw it back here to the left. Gives him a hard count, looks pumped, and then comes back with it and just throws it right up over 2 defenders. So that first pump got 2 of them and kept them.
Novacek will hold if Bonio will try for the extra point. The Eagles dominated early, but now it's 14-7 Cowboys.
Part of it is pass protection, part of it is a pump. Part of it is Alvin Harper. See the motion coming here. You can see Allen coming up. Now right there, he went for the pump. You see Eric Allen, he came up for the pump. Miano came up for the pump. He got 2 of them, and Harper just went right by him.
And Harper, who can jump, shows you one more time.
And you're surprised that you would get a guy like Eric Allen on that type of thing.
$1.99 over Target. We're cooking it, baby. We're cooking it.
Remember last week? They weren't cooking anything.
Well, they haven't got any company. And they're cooking the Cowboys.
Yeah, they're bringing flames. You can cook outside the helmet, inside the helmet. Now, there is some stuff there. I mean, you know what it is? I think it's Dove.
Whatever it is, it's dripping down into the fire and causing some flames.
That's the way it should be. It's going to start a grease fire out there. There was some jalapeno peppers in that one, too. Now, that's Texas barbecue there. It's starting to look like it.
You're making me hungry.
Let's get some of that. We got any stops?
That's Hebron. Jeff Seidner, beg your pardon. Stopped by Derek Brownlow.
Yeah, talking about stubs here, Pat. This was something yesterday. Troy Aikman ordered 12 stubs, and those are sandwiches where they have egg, bacon, sausage, cheese, and everything else. And
Don't forget about the bread and butter.
Yeah, Texas bread. And he brought in 12 of them. Look at the state in the paper. That's kind of how it tasted. But you've never tasted anything, I'll guarantee you, huh?
Yeah, right.
Until you tasted a stub.
Neither one of us have been able to walk since then.
No, it's great. I could go for another one right now after seeing that barbecue.
On first down, Cunningham gives to Garner. Robert Jones, Darren Smith right there.
Charles Haley made a play.
Haley also.
Well, they're trying to frustrate him. They've been running at him. They've been doubling him. They've been doing everything to him. One thing about Charles Haley, he has no quit in him. I mean, he is going to be there and keep fighting you and battling in you until he gets his way.
Whatever the game is, it might be dominoes.
Oh yeah, he's the domino champion of this team, but he's a football champion too when it comes to rushing the passer.
Second down, about 12. Cunningham on the hop, incomplete. This guy looks like a wrestling referee. Count them out.
You know, it's funny about sync, isn't it? How the Eagles had sync,
Yep.
and the Cowboys didn't have any sync. And then the Cowboys got in sync, and then the Eagles have lost their sync.
That's what those sandwiches we had have a lot of. Sync.
Sync. Here, the ball just came in on one hop to Calvin Williams.
Third down. 19 seconds left. 13 yards to go. James Joseph, the deep back with 4 wide receivers. Cunningham gives to Joseph. He'll have an Eagle first down, but that also will just about run the Eagles out of time. They have 1 timeout remaining.
And they're going to take it probably just to take one shot here with 6 seconds and either try and complete something or get a defensive penalty. I think that was kind of smart, really, to run the clock out here. I think they had things going. They've lost it. And you don't want to do something dumb at the end of the half where you give the Cowboys another one here.
Alvin Harper with that bandage on his chin where he landed face first on the artificial surface.
Well, you know, I mean, Alvin Harper could probably jump higher than anyone in this league, and he did on that play and landed on his chin. That's a bad part about jumping high. I always thought of that, you know, watching Michael Jordan and stuff, how those guys could jump so high, then they have to come down. Of course, if you had a lot of weight, then you couldn't jump that high, so you wouldn't have to be worried about landing with that much weight.
Well,
maybe that's why.
A couple of good points there.
Yeah, maybe that's why fat guys can't jump high.
I think there are other reasons. Cunningham back to throw it. Go for a bunch. Pass is picked off by Washington. This is going to run out of time in the first half. James Washington says goodbye. They'll head for the locker rooms with the Cowboys after being down, back leading by a touchdown. That's the end of the first half with the score 14-7 Dallas. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local.